If you're looking to buy a pair of ANC earbuds but you don't want to spend a lot of money, then should you buy one of the best budget ANC earbuds from last year, the $99 Soundcore Liberty 4 NCs, or buy the new $129 Soundcore Liberty 4 Pros? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So I'm going to be comparing their sound quality, mic quality, how the ANC performs, and also if there's some features on one that are missing off the other. And spoiler alert, there are some. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, in the past Soundcore have sent me both these to review, but they've never paid or sponsored any videos of mine, so you are as always going to get my honest opinion. If you look at the cases first, and the case on the Pros are notably larger than those on the NCs, with the Pro case being around 65mm square and the NC one being about 55mm square. There is a good reason for that though, because there's a lot more features in the Pro case. At the front you've got this touch bar, which when it lights up will show you actually how charged each individual earbud is. It then goes into this menu where you can swipe along the touch bar and you can activate things like ambient sound, spatial audio, atmospheric monitoring, find my device, and the remote camera. So you don't necessarily have to have the Soundcore app on your phone. So if you've got it using with your laptop, for instance, and you want to change the ANC levels, then you can do that with this case. And that Find My Device feature is really cool as well on this case. So if you happen to lose an earbud, you can use that and it'll play a sound out the earbud to help you find it. Design wise, both of these earbuds are very similar in design, probably quite unsurprisingly. You will find that the NCs are ever so slightly longer than the Pros. That extra length also equates to a little bit of extra weight, with the NCs weighing 5.7 grams versus the 5.5 grams of the Pros. Whether that makes a difference when you actually get to the fit of these, we'll get to now. So with both of these, you do get a variety of ear tips. You can find the right size that fits your ears. You get 4 different ear tips with the NCs and 6 different ear tips with the Pros. So if you are the type of person that finds it a bit tricky getting the right size ear tip to fit your ears, you're probably going to have more luck with the Pros because you've got more options. And even though the NCs were slightly bigger, both of these fitted me well. I could go jumping around like an idiot and go for a run, and they both stayed in my ears, but I wouldn't use them for sort of long periods of exercise. I would say if you're going to do anything like that, a pair of sort of clip-on or over-ear headphones or open-ear headphones or earbuds are going to serve you better for that. But certainly comfort-wise and fit-wise, both of these fitted me well. Controls on both of these are slightly different. You have the standard touch controls on the NCs with a single, double and triple tap and a long press, instigating different commands on the earbuds. Whereas the Pros have a squeeze and stroke control, which sounds really weird, but it takes a similar control that it had on the earlier Liberty 4s, similar to the Apple AirPods, where you squeeze the stem with a single, double or triple squeeze and a long squeeze, instigating different commands. It also has a slight indented slider on the front for changing volume up and down. All of the controls on both of these earbuds can be configured in the Soundcore mobile app as well. I do find the squeeze controls and the slide controls on the Pros easier to use than the touch ones, and that's just my personal preference. Battery life for these are fairly similar. With ANC turned off, both of these will give you 10 hours of battery life from a single charge. However, you will get 50 hours total from the case and the earbuds in the NCs and only 40 on the Pros. However, if you turn ANC on, it does drop the battery life. So battery life on the NCs drops to 8 hours, battery life on the Pros drops to 7.5. So the Pros are using more battery in the ANC mode, and maybe that gives you better ANC. We'll find out in a bit. Both of these have fast charging, with a 10-minute charge on the NCs giving you 4 hours of playback. However, the Pros do it twice as fast, where a 5-minute charge will also give you 4 hours of playback. And when you want to charge the cases and the earbuds up to full, the earbuds on both of them will charge up to full in an hour and a half, and the case over USB-C on both will charge to full in 3 hours, and they both have wireless charging too. So let's get on to the sound here, because this is where things get interesting. So the NCs has an 11mm driver in it, whereas the Pros have a dual driver. They have a 10.5mm bass driver and a 4.6mm tweeter. That should give the Pros the edge when it comes to sound. They both have the same codec support, so SBC, AAC and high-res LDAC audio. Now both of these earbuds use the same Soundcore mobile app, so a lot of the sound adjustability you can get on both. So you can use one of the 22 custom presets on both of these. They both have an 8-band custom EQ. They also both have a Hear ID sound test. The app itself will go and play a series of tests and come up with the best graphic EQ profile to match your hearing. And they do both have kind of like pseudo surround or spatial surround mode. So the NCs has 3D surround sound. The Pros has spatial audio. Both of them I don't particularly like, and I think they're a little bit gimmicky, so I tend to just stick to a custom EQ or one of the 22 EQ presets if one of those is to your liking. So sound-wise, out of the box, I thought the NCs were a little bit light on the bass and a bit harsh on the trebles, and I actually thought the Pros sounded pretty good. However, you can just go and tweak these to your own preference. Use one of the 22 presets, do the 8-band custom EQ, and come up with a sound profile or an EQ that matches your listening preference. Once you do that, both of these sound pretty good. And I could definitely get the NCs sounding a lot closer to the Pros. However, the dual drivers in the Pros definitely make a difference. There is a weight and a punch and just a presence to the bass that just isn't there in the NCs. And that's not to say that the NCs are bad, it's just you've got a dedicated bass driver in here that just really helps. On both of these though, the trebles were nice and clear. I just found it a little bit more rounded, just more body, fuller bodied. On the Pros. There is a slight difference in the waterproof rating between the two, with the NCs being IPX4 rated and the Pros being IPX5 rated. In reality, it means both of them are fine if you're going down the gym or you get caught out in the rain. Now let's move on to the ANC, because this is where we get another difference, because the NCs use Soundcore's ANC 2.0 and the Pros use Soundcore's ANC 3.0. The NCs has adaptive ANC, so it adapts to your surrounding environment. It has 5 levels of ANC from strong to weak, and it also has 4 modes of plane, train, taxi, and bus, which honestly in my testing really didn't make much of a difference. And to be fair, neither did the adaptive ANC either, and I just found having a manual mode set to 5, max as high as it can go, was the best ANC that you can get. And to be honest, I actually had a fairly similar thing with the Pros, because the ANC 3.0 here also has 5 levels of manual ANC. But in here it has 7 sensors, so it's 6 sound sensors and a barometric sensor that is monitoring your environment 3 times a second to give you the best ANC that you can get. And when you compare both of these maxed out at ANC, there is an ever so slight difference, with the Pros being better at cancelling out the lower frequencies, so airplane noise, cafe background noise, the whir of a coffee machine. It was just slightly better at dulling those out on the Pros. Voices do still get through on both, but it's less pronounced on the Pros. Now both of these also have a wind reduction mode, and turning that on is supposed to stop or prevent or lessen the whistling sound of wind rushing past your ears if you're outside on a windy day. And on both of these I got fairly similar results. Doesn't really work. I tried different size ear tips and turning the mode on and off, and it does make an ever so slight difference. You do notice it reducing slightly. However, it also reduces the effect of the ANC as well, so the trade-off for me isn't worth it, and you're actually better off just leaving it off and getting better noise cancelling with the ANC. So windproof mode or wind reduction mode, I would generally just turn it off on both of these. So the NC does have 2 transparency mode. It has default and vocal or voice. So in that mode, it's supposed to amplify noises or people talking over background noise. However, the Pros have more options. They've got 5 different transparency levels from weak to strong, similar to the ANC levels, and you can choose how much noise comes through. And I definitely prefer that on the Pros, because you've just got a little more power and choice over how much noise gets through to your ears. So it kind of goes in reverse order, with level 1 being the most noise and level 5 being the least noise. At level 5 it's like a little bit in, level 3 I thought was fairly natural, and at level 1 the Pros are amplifying the noise around you so that you can hear it clearer. It does sound a little bit artificial, but you can still hear people talk quite clearly. Now moving on to the mics. Now on paper, both of these look the same. They both have 6 mics in them using an AI algorithm to make your voice clear over background noise. However, let's go test these so you can hear for yourself. So you're now listening to the mic on Liberty 4 NC, so you can hear what it would sound like if you're going to use these mics to take a call in a quiet room. You're now listening to the mic on Liberty 4 Pro, so you can hear what it would sound like if you're going to use these earbuds to take a call in a quiet room. So you're now listening to the mic on the top of your camera, so you can hear what the ambient sound in the room is like. This is simulated coffee shop noise playing in the background. You're now listening to the mic on the Liberty 4 NC, so you can hear what it would sound like if you're going to take a call on these in a noisy environment. And also how well these earbuds are cancelling out that background noise and making my voice clear and well heard. And now you listen to the mic of the Liberty 4 Pro, so you can hear what it would sound like if you're going to take a call on this in a noisy environment and how well the mics in these earbuds are making my voice clear and well heard. So which one do you think sounded the best? Let me know in the comments down below. Overall, I thought the Pro sounded better. I thought they were better at making voices clearer over noisy backgrounds and cancelling out more of that background noise. It does digitize your voice, but it's always going to do that a little bit. But again, I thought Pros better than the NCs. There's still lots of features that both of these earbuds have, predominantly because they use the same Soundcore mobile app. They both have wear detection, which will pause the music when you take your earbuds out, play them again when you put them in. Sound leak compensation, so it will try and reduce the amount of noise leaking out of your ears so other people around you can hear what you're listening to. Multi-points, you can be connected to multiple devices at the same time. Auto power off, so after a certain amount of time it will turn these earbuds off. Google fast pairing, safe volume or volume limiter. Find my device, it will play a beeping sound out of the earbuds to help you find them, and both of these can get firmware upgrades using the Soundcore mobile app. So now we get to some of the extra features that one of these earbuds have that the other doesn't. So the Pro has Easy Chat, also known as Speak to Chat with some other brands. This is where the earbuds will lower the sound of your music so you can talk clearly to someone, and then it will raise the music when you stop talking. In reality, I never use that because it's way too sensitive, and it'll start dropping the music when you whistle, sing, talk to anybody. It just isn't practical. There is one thing that the NCs have that the Pros don't, and that's a gaming mode. And that really surprised me because I thought that was something that they would put in the Pros. It's just not there. Now, gaming mode should lower the latency of audio, which is especially useful when you're playing games. Now, I did notice gaming mode did lower the latency in the NCs when I used it. It wasn't the best, but it definitely helped. So which of these should you buy? Because I think it's really close between both of them because they share so many of the same features. But if the best sound, mic and ANC is what's important to you, then it is a win for the Liberty 4 Pros here. However, the Liberty 4 NCs have a smaller case, better battery life, do still have good sound and ANC for the price, and you'll save yourself $30 by buying them, so I do still think they're a good option, especially if you could get them on sale. I will put purchase links to both of these in the description down below so that you can go check them out for yourself. If you want to look at some other options, then be sure to check out the link up here. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.